Yo, I am back with another video already because I just want to talk to people about my favorite team so far. Um, I don't know what you guys are playing, but I have been. I started with Mei Lin and Selena, and I just absolutely freaking love them. I still love them. Don't get me wrong, especially now that I got Ray in there for some card draw and buffing my, my freaking Jesus Christ, my number one cards and my number zero cards, bro. The Ray just really brings it together, and in content like Basin of Hyperspace, you really don't need a healer or any survivability. Like Mika, for example, she's good over here because she gives a lot of AP generation, which is fantastic. I mean, that's gonna be good everywhere, but you don't need any sustain at all. Like this stuff, it doesn't hurt. It's just a matter of killing it before it kills you, right? It can't kill you if it's already dead. So if you stack up as much DPS as you possibly could muster, this stuff's basically just going to fall over, and it's going to be the same going into the Dimensional Twilight as well. It's just going to be a little bit different here since this is going to be where it starts ramping up in level and starts catching up to me. And especially with my Maylin and Selena, as much as I say I love them, I have not been trying to get a good build for them. I've been so focused on trying to get my Kalipe a decent build, which it like I don't know about these numbers. I don't feel like these are very accurate because I'll go in with Ray and I'll get a bunch of neutral cards. Like I swear to God, I had like 4 rallies, 4 attacks, and then 2 of these snack times, and then they all had like +1 morales or +1 APs in some sort of way. And then it ends up getting rid of most of them, and then just giving my basics back. I think the highest I got with this is like 55,000. Yeah, 55,000 right here. This was pretty good. I got my gear bags. I got my rally. See, this is why I don't use this one. Is because I like gear bag, but it got rid of all my rallies and my the other ones that I was using. What's it called? The attacks. And it shoved these basics back in here. And until I get to a level where I don't have to have these stupid basics shoved back into my deck against my will, I'm not really worried about it. Especially because gear bag is legendary. These cost like they fluff up this number quite a bit. And so it's just I don't take the number here too much as to like the power that a unit actually has. Because if you look here, I got a bunch of draw, and then everything's giving me morale. So this is like say 3 morale a freaking hand when it comes through. And then I got +4 morale here. That's already like what? It's 20% each stack. So that could be 60% through one turn of my deck. And then plus another 60-80% right here. Like that's massive. That's huge. Not to mention all of this other stuff giving additional increases in damage. It says 43,000, but with the synergy that this has, and then I got a little bit of healing right here. This don't matter. It ends up being or feeling more than 43,000. But moving on to my Kalipe, this is the build that I'm running for her. Basically, just spamming the absolute hell out of Vulture Ejection. This is close to perfect for me. This is basically everything that I want as far as cards go. Only thing I would change here is my Greatsword. I'd rather have this one be the 2 cost that gives an additional Silver Veil, so that way I can really abuse the Vulture Ejections and the Silver Veil mechanic. And then Rally's got Heaven on it, which is absolutely perfect. So it's really just this card. This is the only card that I really kind of regret out of all of this. And not to mention, there's like, honestly, there's not dog shit in God cards for Kalipe. I swear, they all just feel so bad. I'm wondering if there's a God card for Vulture Ejection that has the full damage and maybe gives it more damage or something like that. But in the 50, 60, 70 runs of the Zero system that I've done, I have never seen this specific affix with a God enhancement on it. So I think I'm pretty much just shit out of luck, at least until they decide to update some stuff. And then I got this one right here that sticks out like a sore thumb that doesn't have the damage on it. So I'm still trying to get this one together. I got the critical damage on my weapon, which is absolutely fantastic. These ones don't really, I haven't found anything good for these yet. This one just gives more shield, and this one's more damage. I don't know if this affects defense-based damage. I would assume it does, because it's still damage at the end of the day. But if you know, leave a comment down below, because I don't know. I always pick this up, because I assume it does. And then memory fragments are actually pretty cracked on this character so far. I'm using the 20% critical chance increase for anything that is 2 costs or more. And then I am also running instinct damage, obviously, and Critical chance. I actually plan to get rid of these and replace them with critical damage eventually. Um, yeah, the 25% critical damage. I'll have the 20% critical chance and plus 25 critical damage. I think it'll just be absolutely busted, especially because now at this point where I'm sitting at for my stats, I'm at 70% crit. So 33% plus the 7 is 40, and plus I got the additional 20. Oh, so I'm actually at 60% crit. Excuse me. With 155% crit damage. Pretty cracked. That is with missing quite a few crit rolls on my items. Like, I don't have anything on my weapon. I only got damage on this part. Only damage on this one. Damage on this one. Well, I guess critical chance is the main stat here, so you can't duplicate it. And then critical damage, no crit rate, and some more critical damage. But this one has critical chance. So I basically have most of the stats that I need, other than these two pieces that I need to replace regardless. I just need to get some crit chance on these, and then I'll be chilling. I'll probably end up being able to get at least 70% crit, it seems like. 70% crit with 150 plus 25, 175, probably somewhere around 180 to 190 crit damage with 70% crit. It's probably going to be like the sweet spot. But we'll see as we, max out those pieces eventually. This is the only character that I've actually bothered to put some pieces on, mainly because I just got pretty lucky. I waited until level 40 to, do the mission where you have to run it 12 times as a base, and I got pretty lucky with these. Rest of them just have some zero costs, unless it's something like this where it just gives flat damage increase. Decided to level them up. Got some decent stuff on this, but not worth upgrading anything, especially because they can get pretty expensive, and then I just don't really have anything on anybody else. That's stuff that I'll probably end up paying more attention to once I hit like level 50. I just don't think it's a priority right now. I think it's super good to get at least one character really kitted, because at this point, Kalipe and Mika can just carry any other character. Like, I don't need to have a second character for my Chaos Zero runs that's relevant. I'll just throw anybody in there. Like I'll throw Ray in there, get her some good shit, so that way she can go on another character. I can go throw Selena in there. I can throw Maylin in there. It just doesn't matter. That way I can just get them a good data set, and that way they can be viable in other forms of content where I can use them at, while Kalipe and Magna will be my pushers. I don't know about Magna. I might end up taking her out just for somebody that has a little bit more damage focus in the Chaos Zero system, because, like, it's nice having all the survivability, but I just kind of want to get through it quicker, and it's so easy up to, like, level 59 at this point that I just really don't feel like I need to have this additional support, and I think that's attributed to the fact that I have such good memory fragments on Kalipe. But you can see here I got an absolutely cracked data for my Magna. Honestly, I don't really know why. I got 3 iron walls on here. Pretty nice stuff. Add some counter. Be nice if there was one that added morale. I would love to have +3 morale on this. And then just going all in on the defense. Like, this is just why I can't die in other forms of content, and also why I don't really use Magna in other forms of content, because it's just everything here is built so defensively that I can survive anything. But outside of the zero system, you really just need to be able to kill things, and sustain kind of becomes useless in my opinion, at least for now. I don't know what they're planning for the future, but sustain is like the least important thing outside of Zero Nightmare. So I feel like a build like this is more or less just a waste, and I'd rather have something more offensive focused. So I might have to go back through these and just completely redo this build. I like Throb. I didn't read the max 4 stacks, so I got 2 of them. But I definitely want to do something where this is much more DPS oriented for the counter attacks, having some Throb. There's one card that she has where at the start of every turn she does like 200% damage to all of the enemies. She has something where she can, apply vulnerable for every single counter attack. So she has the potential to be a fantastic sub DPS. I just really needed to get in there and redo her entire build from the ground up, because my theory behind it was entirely wrong, and so I gotta re-go about it. As far as my other characters go, I don't really have very good things on them at the moment. I definitely want to get in here to get maybe 2 or 3 copies of this and a couple of copies of the Rising Dragonspire. There's just so many different ways that you can, play a character like this, especially because, there's also a bunch of God Epiphanies that I don't even know what is possible for this character, in all honesty. But duplicates are definitely one of my favorite mechanics in this entire game. I really want to come in here and duplicate the hell out of these 2 cards and focus on a combo build. But then, if you wanted to, you can entirely change it up. You can focus on like a tenacity kind of build where you're constantly breaking them. She gets another card where every time it's broken, it does like 300% damage. Let me come over here and see really quick. Cards. I believe it's this one that gets upgraded. No, it's not. Okay. This one that gets upgraded? No. Trust me, guys. I'm not lying. It's here somewhere. I promise. All right, there it is, right here. You can focus on a tenacity build anytime you end up breaking the enemy. It ends up doing an automatic 300%. Something like this would pair super nice with Selena because Selena has the potential to do a lot of tenacity damage. And if you're focusing on passion weakness stuff, then you're going to be breaking things pretty much every single turn that you're going between the two characters. Even for bosses, especially because you have so many abilities that can combo, and basically every one hit is going to be 1 bar of stamina. So you end up doing a couple hits here, a couple hits here. Shit, now it's broken. You're doing 300%. You still got some more AP because you might have Mika in the party or Ray. So now you're doing this. It could just be absolutely bonkers. My Selena definitely needs a lot of work. The way that I plan to do her is have a bunch of marks. I love the mark system. It just feels so good. So I really want to get like 4 copies of this because I'm pretty sure 4 is the maximum at the moment. That's the most I've ever seen at the least, and I've tried so hard to get more than that, especially for my Kalipe. But I definitely want to get 4 of these target spotted, so that way I could just stack up all of the marks possible. And so every time I'm hitting something, it's getting hit, 5, 6, 7 times. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Especially if you take the Epiphany for drone bombing and you come in here and you get this one as well. So now every one of those marks is also getting, or I guess it's be the attack card would trigger this, which would trigger a mark. And then you get your trigger from your normal attack card. That's going to be 1 trigger for the mark. And then this is going to trigger, which is going to be another trigger for the mark. So that's 4 hits in just 1 attack. And then if we come over to her egos over here, there's a bunch of stuff in here that ends up making her mark do more damage. Let me see. Selena's mark, 30% chance to get 100% extra damage, which is crazy. You end up attacking 4 times, like I just said, or 5 times, 6 times. 30% chance on each of those individual hits. It's just, there's so much potential for follow-up attacks with Selena. It's just absolutely crazy. And personally, that's why I ended up making her instead of Veronica. Don't get me wrong, Veronica is absolutely stupid. Like, she is a fantastic unit, and I will eventually end up building her if I could find her. Where the hell is she? Am I stupid? I know I have her. I mean, what's going on here? Oh, there we go. Wait, what? What? There she is. Okay. Yeah, she's absolutely crazy. I'll definitely eventually build her. Her card engine draw is just absolutely bonkers. And then her follow-up attacks also are pretty cool. I just, personally, I don't think she has as much potential as Selena does when it comes to straight-up raw damage, which is why I prefer Selena over Veronica. I think Veronica is more of a draw engine or a main DPS than well, I don't even know about main DPS. I have obviously played her enough to know if she can be a main DPS. But looking at her cards, the ability to abuse her ballista mechanic just seems like it could be absolutely ridiculous. And then you have her, and then you have somebody with Ray, who's gonna make all of these 1 costs do more damage. And if I'm correct, her ballistas, I think they count as 0 costs. So I believe Ray can also potentially increase the damage of those. But that's something I'd have to test later down the line. I do feel like there is some potential there, but we won't be able to see that, at least not for me, for quite a while. And then as far as the main characters that I plan on focusing and getting up next, obviously I need a void DPS, and I'm really leaning towards Ray just because hot. But I love Kayron's playstyle. It looks really fun too. So I'm eventually gonna end up getting both of them up. Kayron mainly for AoE situations, and then Rin for single target situations, because I'm sure that there will be plenty of both, and so having both of them could never hurt. Then obviously there's Hugo and Tressa, but I probably won't bother with them for quite a while. I don't count myself as a furry. I don't really care for Hugo's design. He looks like he might have some pretty cool combat mechanics with Tressa, but he's really just a one-trick pony, or I guess one-trick dog. because like I feel like he only really synergizes with Tressa, and that's kind of it. I don't feel like he is really a viable unit outside of Tressa at the moment. So I'd rather get somebody like Haru, who has a lot of potential with my main Kalipe, and then that would cover two main damage sources, both balance and instinct, which would be fantastic. I would have Ray for Void, and then honestly, Kalipe is so strong. Honestly, Kalipe is so strong that I could just use her in any element. Like who am I kidding here? She could just be used anywhere. So we'll see what happens. But Cassius is definitely one that I want to get up to just for his card draw as well. Ray is ridiculous with the card draw because of all the neutral cards, but imagine that on a Cassius, ridiculous. Like I'll be drawing out my whole deck every single turn, and everybody who has played a card game before knows how strong tutors are. And if I can get like 3 or 4 of them in here, along with attack, which is like 6 tutors, I could be tutoring 6 different cards every single turn, paired with Mika, who can give me up to like 6, 7, 8 action points. Like it's just the potential there is ridiculous. We really need more AP generation characters though, because Mika's like the only one that has it in her base kit. You can find it with neutral cards, but it's just like, I don't know how the data works when it comes to saving neutral cards, but they seem to have a really high value. But yeah, anyways, those are the teams that I'm currently working with, sitting around level 45. What else here? Finished up all of the simulations in the first section and moving on to the Dimensional Twilight, which looks like it's going to be done in 12 days. So I'm thinking it's a monthly type of deal, or maybe like 2 weeks type of deal, something like that. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyways, any comments, questions, concerns, leave them down below. Let me know what kind of teams you guys are playing, who I should look for when I'm building my teams up next, because I've played most of them right now, except for really this guy and Beryl. And I like they did so good with the playstyles of everyone. I love them. Amir sucks. Don't build her. She's horrible. Maribel's good. You can build her. Anyways, don't build Orlia either. I hate her too. I was so hyped to try her out, but like she feels god awful to play. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't know how to play her. But oh my god, I can't stand her. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching.